Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sharice, and in today's video I will be prepping a bulk mask order. So I will be taking you through all of the steps from cutting my fabric, sewing in bulk, putting them together, ironing them, as well as packaging. So if you're interested in seeing the process behind the business, this video is for you. Is the fabric that I'm going to be making bulk masks in today. This is one of my popular prints. This is a floral 100% woven cotton material, and these have been selling like crazy. And I'm just going to cut these in bulk. I'm going to use my pattern pieces, lay them on top, pin them, and then cut them out. So I finished with the first part of cutting out the front part of the mask, and now I'm going to go on and do the inside layer, which is going to be black. So I'm going to do the same process, basically cut layer cut, layer pin cut, and then move on to the sewing machine. So now that both of my front layer and my back layer of my mask are completed, I am going to take these over to the sewing machine and stitch these together. So the next step that I'm going to do is basically sew all of my mask pieces together. I've already done the lining pieces, so you'll see that they're basically just one half of the mask so far, and I do this by chain stitching them all together at once, just because it makes the process a little faster. And I learned this from a quilting friend of mine, so I've adopted this to my process, and it makes bulk sewing very easy. And I just continue this process until I'm finished. And so this is the last one in the chain, and so of course I clip this off, and then I have just a bunch of mask on one continuous thread. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip them apart, so I can move on to the next step, which is attaching them to the liner. So this is the part of mask making that I don't necessarily like. This is probably my least favorite part of the entire process, and that is pinning the layer of the mask, pinning the front of the mask to the lining and then sewing them together. And I find that this is just the most time-consuming portion of the process for me. And I don't really like it that much, but it has to be done, and so I do it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna attach this, which is the front of the mask, to the lining of the mask. And how I do that is pretty simple, and I actually use this time to catch up on podcasting. Like I listen to a podcast or I watch something on Netflix, just because it is time consuming. So I'm just gonna pin the layers together and keep the process going. Okay, so now that I have attached the front of the mask and the liners together, I'm now going to take it back to the machine and stitch the entire thing together. And this is like my halfway point where I know I'm halfway done with making the mask, because after this the only thing left is to iron it, to close it up and put the elastics in it, and of course package it. So right now I'm just going to quickly stitch these together, and then after this I'm actually going to take a break for like a light lunch or a snack, just because I don't like to sit to the machine all day, because if I do that I'll like not eat lunch or something. So I'm just gonna quickly stitch these together and take me like a 30-minute break. So I have just completed like 50% of my task. So I've already like closed up the mask. All I have to do is basically flip them over, and then I will give them a good press and then take them back to the machine. So I'm just like flipping it over, take it back to the machine and close them up. And so, like I said, I'm 50% done. And so this is what the mask at this point looks like. It's, like I said, 50% done. So it's just like, I just need to close these ends up and give it a good press. So I'm currently on my third step of my mask making. So I am at the ironing board. I've actually done 95% of the mask already. So right now I'm basically I'm ironing them. And I know a lot of people tend not to iron their mask, but it is an essential part of not only mask making, but making anything, sewing anything, because it is the difference between your work looking mediocre and looking like $1 million. So this is the almost final product. I have already stitched them closed, and the only thing left is for me to add the elastics and then put them in their packages. And so this is just the process. So I am 99% finished with this order. I have attached the elastics already. And so now I'm just gonna bag them up, seal it with my labels, and put them in their bag that is going to be shipped off to the stores. So I'm just gonna show you really quick how I package the retail items. I do package the items that will go on the shelves differently than I would if you were one of my regular customers. And when I say regular customers, I mean if you're just getting one or two masks. Bulk masks are packaged separately, and so they have, the process isn't too much different, but it's just like a simple thing. So let me show you guys what I do. I usually lint roll all of the mask before I put them in the plastic containers, well, plastic pouches, just to ensure that there's no overall threads, fags, or anything on them. You don't have to do it, but it's just something that I do for my products. See, you have some little fags in there, and just get that out real quick and put it in this container. So now that each of the masks are in its own separate bags, I'm gonna seal it and then add the sticker to it. And basically this is the finished product. By She's So Major mask, and it is ready to hit the stores. So all of these are now going to go into this bigger bag, and so this is my retail bag, my big retail bag. It says by She's So Major. There's something pretty major inside, and of course I always tell people to recycle and reuse this bag because it's such a nice bag. I really love this bag. And so all of these are going to go in here. It's a resealable bag. And I just take all of the masks and I drop them right in here. And then this means I'm officially done for the day. So I drop everything in this bag. And that is it. I absolutely love my packaging, but that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for joining me here in the studio making a bunch of masks today. Now, I hope you guys see the amount of work that goes into making masks, from cutting out patterns to pinning to stitching together to putting them back together again to stitching them to ironing to adding elastics and of course packaging. This is a seriously time-consuming job, and I just wanted to show people the insides and outs of making handmade masks. You know, a lot of people sometimes try to hassle you down and ask, well, why your mask can't be $6? And I'm like, this is why. Because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort in giving you a quality product. So, you know, my fellow entrepreneurs, don't let anybody put a value on your work. But anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not following this channel, please hit that subscribe button right now. And I will see you guys right here for another video in the near future.